Welcome to another episode of Business Bros. I am all by my lonesome today. Welcome to Friday the 13th. I don't know if it's a bad luck omen, if it's just a number, whatever it is. Man, what a crazy day it was today for everybody out there in the real world. We're going through it in all kinds of different ways. I'll start off with a thing that happened to us today. So, some of you know, some of you may not know. I teach at East Lake High School, and somewhere around first or second period, we got emails and then an announcement that schools are going to be shut down effective the end of business today. So the kids were happy. I mean, they were like, "Yes, we're about to have an extra week of spring break. We're not coming back till," I think what it said on the notes, I'm not sure, it was April 3rd or April 6th. So the kids are going to be off for 3 weeks. We were supposed to have spring break. We're supposed to have one more week of school, and then we're going to go into our spring break. But that changed. I mean, right off the bat, we're on spring break now officially. The only downside to that, and what I was explaining to the kids, is the spring break is not like your normal traditional spring break. You're going to probably not be able to go out and do different things. You're going to be limited to, where you can go and what's going to be open. And so, of course, that brought in the discussion of, small businesses. What are small businesses going to do out there? Fortunately for us, whoops, let me mute this. So fortunately for us, we have, as teachers, our salaries are still going to continue. There's some federal workers who are going to be, put out of work for a while, but their salaries are going to continue. But there are a lot of small businesses out there that are going to struggle, right? They're going to have, in my 5 a.m. club, I got Mr. Eric Gilman. He's a Cutco knife sales guy, and he has a very lucrative sales business from selling Cutco's knives. But he's dependent 100% on being able to talk to other people who need his particular product or services. So he goes to a lot of events. He does speaking engagements. He does networking groups, all those different things. And he has, he's very productive in his schedule. So he has a month full of events ahead of time. And just like that, the entire calendar is gone, right? He has 1 month now wiped away of where he was initially going to go out and get his business, his livelihood from, and it's gone. Those events have been canceled. There's no sporting events. There's no real estate seminars. There's nothing like that where people are meeting in large groups. Gone, right? I saw a video earlier today from Hector over at Casanova Fish Tacos. Same thing. He has a catering business. His livelihood is dependent on events happening where he can bring his quality product, his fish tacos, over to, weddings and birthday parties and other gatherings of people to feed them. And just like that, he's had major cancellations because people are not getting together. There's small businesses out there that are going to be struggling right now. A lot of the retail stuff. So if you got a small little store or something that has retail items such as any sanitary products, cleaning products, that sort of stuff, your shelves are being cleaned out. That's a good thing, right? But there's some of these people in this industry where they're not going to get together with people. We're just not going to be very social very much here. It's going to be one of those times where I don't know what's going to happen, and so you got to start thinking about your business and your livelihood. How are you going to continue going forward? And it's kind of scary. In 2008, we had very similar scenarios going on where you had a huge meltdown of the real estate markets. The stock market took a big dump, and people were kind of in a panicky mode, kind of like they are today. They started, buying up different things, going on. Let's see, I got to make sure I keep track of both of these. So they started buying up all kinds of different toilet papers, and same type of scenario, panicking for the worst. They didn't know where things were going to go. And we're seeing a lot of that today. What's up, Ollie? Feel free to jump on. I have by the way, this is an open invitation. So if you're in business for yourself, hop on. There's a link on the in the title here. go ahead and hop on the Zoom link and join me in this conversation, because I want to know what you guys are doing too. So, in 2008, people were panicking. The market took a dump. And a lot of people, you got this saying that popped out, where you have a recession versus a depression, right? A recession is when when other people are losing their jobs and other people are losing their livelihoods. But a depression is when you start losing your livelihood. Now, the difference between 2008 and today is 2008, the worst thing that was going to happen was you were going to go broke, right? And today, the worst thing that can happen is you could lose a life or the life of a loved one. So there's a different kind of pandemic going on, but still the panic is still there. And, we don't want that loss of life, and we're doing everything we can to protect ourselves, to not spread the germs, to not do that sort of stuff. But then there's also the livelihood aspect of it. There are people who are 100% dependent on making sure that their business survives, to put food on the table, to, put clothes on people's back. And we're about to go into what looks like a shutdown period where we can't even gather as individuals. We're fearful of that sort of thing. We're doing it in a protective state. So, on Monday, I have this scheduled launch, right? Ollie, I'm going to hop you on right here. On Monday, I have this launch that I'm scheduled to do. I'm getting James on here too. Boom, 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 boom. And it's supposed to be on the power of podcasting. And I'm still going to go with a launch, but I know that I'm going to have much more hesitation with people who want to start their podcast if there's any capital investment, because of the situation that we're in. It's going to be kind of a little bit of scary time. Ollie, James, what's up, guys?
What's up, dude? I think this is a great topic. We need to talk because people are losing their minds. We need to calm down.
Dude, 100%. I mean, they're losing their minds, but at the same time, there's justification. Like you, for example, you're in lending. You're 100% dependent on networking and talking to people. Now, yep. Luckily for us in today's era, we're having a conversation right now, right? So you can still have a conversation with people, but it really is going to limit things that you guys do the weekly pitch all the time, right? Out there. And, yep. And that's a networking event that is no longer probably going to be happening here soon.
We're going to do a virtual. So I think the reason why this is a great topic is, instead of everyone taking a negative approach, look, we have to adapt to life, and that's what the life of an entrepreneur is. We're mobile. I mean, we can work from anywhere. So I'm inviting all my clients to do video chat. We're gonna have plenty of time. My kids are home. Your kids are home. Let's spend quality time with our kids. Let's work on personal development. Let's take a positive approach and not lose our freaking marbles. It's here. It is what it is. We got to deal with it.
Yeah, dude, 100%. And James and I were talking about that yesterday, and probably the day before too. And I was talking about having an abundance or a scarcity mentality, right? Having this is a major problem, or this is also a major opportunity, yep. And not to diminish the fact that you could have a loss of life, because that is part of life in general, anyways. However, the situation at hand does present some opportunities.
And Hernan, let's be honest. We're going to talk about this. Our episode of we're going to do Biz Breakdown on Thursday, and what we're going to talk about is the greatest wealth was the most amount of millionaires was created during the Great Depression. So the reality is that if leveraged the right way, yes, it's unfortunate that it's here, and there is going to be a loss of life, and it's very, very sad. We want our communities to be healthy, but the reality is there's no avoiding it now. We just got to take precautions to protect ourselves. We got to eat right. We got to exercise. We can use this to improve our communities. I just look at it as an opportunity. I was at Costco, man, and it was unbelievable, like how mean people were being with one another, having no consideration, toilet paper. One of my buddies who's an agent and in the Marines for like 25 years, he's like, why don't we have social responsibility one another? And that's what he was talking about. And I look at my kids. The way I look at it is, if they were standing there right next to me, what decision would I make?
Yeah. It's it's funny. It's one of those things where you talk about your work ethic, and the work ethic really comes down to, what are you doing when nobody's looking, right? When it's the right thing to do because it's the right thing to do, not because, somebody has an eye on you. No, it's the right thing to do. don't go and hoard all these supplies that are necessary for everybody else. Like, don't worry. I promise you there's going to be more shipments that come in. Things are not going to disappear. The water's not going to, water's not going to be contaminated. That's not how it's spreading. Like, this is something that you're letting your emotions get the best of you instead of kind of trying to be logical about these sorts of things. How do you feel about being out and about in general?
So I put together an event called Get Your Happy On because I thought there was just a sense of sadness.
Mm-hmm.
And, we've been talking about it in Justice League. Like, I want to be the one that brings positivity. Maybe we can't do it in person, but life goes on. And that's the way I'm going to approach it. Like, I want my sons to understand, hey, we're still going to go outside and get exercise. We're just going to do a better job of washing our hands and, making sure that, why not go out of our way for one another? There's nothing wrong with that. And we all have a platform on social media. So I'm just going to choose to bring the positivity. Anybody that needs help, I'll go out of my way for them. And we're going to do the happy event. Why not? I mean, I don't want local business to go. It's going to be really, really hard for small business owners. Billie Jean does marketing. Just taped something and said, look, this is an opportunity. Educate yourself. Take the time to learn something. I went, the past 24 hours and just read every article that there was on the coronavirus, like who's going to be impacted. And I'm going to put more and more content out there focused on that. I just think we got to keep a positive spirit. So that way, once this thing is over, we can all get back to business and help one another grow.
It's funny, man. I was talking right before you got on the show. I was talking about how on Monday I'm supposed to launch my Power of Podcasting, right? It's a podcasting coaching program. We're going to help people create their podcast. And on the one hand, I was telling myself, and this is me, I think my own fear talking, right? On the one hand, I was saying maybe I should postpone it because people aren't going to have money to do this, blah, blah, blah. And then once I realized what I was trying to tell myself to talk myself out of it, which is what was going on, I realized on the other hand, I'm like, dude, this is the perfect reason why you want to have a podcast. You are going to have 2, 3, 4 weeks, whatever it is, to create massive amounts of content. And we're going to be here to help you out. I'm going to get to talk to more people. I'm going to make it a point to talk to more people using this type of thing, using the video camera, using the internet, using social media. I heard Mike Cuevas the other day when we were on the show. He posted something. He's like, dude, this is a perfect time for you to double down on your Facebook ad spend because there's going to be more and more people on their phones, like Facebooking and looking at stuff.
I couldn't agree with you more. That's why I'm like, anyone that, like, some of the posts that I put on Instagram today were like, hey, if you want insight on what's happening with the market, how you can leverage your equity when the market recovers. The market recovers. It's just history. All you got to do is just go read. You'll see recover. We're going to be fine. This isn't the first time we've had a pandemic. It won't be the last. It is what it is. We got to deal with it. And I choose to deal with it with a positive smile.
What are you guys telling your other LOs in the office? So what are you guys talking about as far as, how to keep their, I mean, right now, if you're a loan officer, you're probably pretty happy. Rates have been, fluctuating, but towards the bottom end, and you got refi people coming like crazy. I mean, think about it. There's a lot of people who are like, I don't know if I'm going to have money. I need to take equity out of my home so I have some cash. There's a lot of that going around.
And I think that's where my responsibility as a person, and I would say as a loan officer, is to come up with solutions in difficult times. That's really the role of an advisor. And I think you guys do a great job of that. Like, the more people like us that have a positive energy, have a positive outlook, that are out there saying, hey, look, there's still a lot of positive out there. Let's make a difference. Hey, we're all at home. We have this avenue, this platform. We could use it. Mm-hmm. So instead of freaking out and saying, hey, I can't meet my clients in person, I'm going to say, hey, look, this is the problem. We can't meet in person. So let's do a video chat.
Absolutely.
And I think that's an easy solution, and offer that to people. And when they're at home, they're bored, they're not doing anything, they can get a little education. This is the funniest story, Hernan. I was at Costco for 2.5 hours. Not once mad. I turned around and talked to the guy right behind me, and him and I talked for an hour. He works at Kaiser. They're in the market to buy a house. Folks, there's connections to be made.
Mm-hmm.
How you choose to do it.
Yeah. I mean, other things, I mean, people are doing, maybe you don't want to host an open house to have a bunch of people there, but it doesn't mean you can't have like a virtual open house. You can still walk through and,
Exactly.
do a live thing, right? Invite all your clients and be like, hey, there's this house that I want to do. We're going to do a caravan today. Exactly. Yeah. We're going to do a caravan.
Hey guys, what room do you want to see?
Yeah, exactly.
Questions you have, like, what's your best part? Like, there's so many cool things you can do.
Yeah. And you just got to start getting creative, because I'm telling you, if things progressively get where they're supposedly going to go, we're going to have less and less person to person interaction.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean you can't be social. That's the beauty of where we're at today. It doesn't mean that you stop communicating with your clients. If anything, you can bring more value. I've already seen people who are posting things like, hey, if you're in need of a particular supply or food or whatever, reach out, DM me, no judgments, just send me a message. And there's going to be people like that doing inspirational things to help people out, because they're good people, right? They're helping out. That's what being a contributing member to society and being of service is all about. It's about being able to extend your hand and be like, what can I help you with? You know what I mean? Like, man, I keep saying this is going to be, and this is going to be like the chicken pox, bro. This is going to be one of those things where we're all going to get it and we're all going to go through it. And hopefully we have another side on the end of it. Right. But that being said, you can't live in fear.
Amen.
You can't fear it. You just got to go with it.
James, you're quiet. And I think this is the thing. Like, one of the things that I think about is what you just said, which is, look, I will give the shirt off my back to anyone that goes out of their way for people. Like, I think that's just that's how the three of us are built, like our circle. Why not? Why not just go out of your way? Instead of being greedy and, buying all the toilet paper, hey, you got a family of 5, maybe take 2 and leave some for somebody else. I just don't get it.
Same, man.
I just don't understand. I'm like, dude, you don't need toilet paper for a year. You're good.
Did you end up getting your toilet paper?
You know what? I already had some, so I was good. But I did stop at Vallarta on my way back from your place yesterday, and they had some.
Oh, see? The smaller places, right?
So, yeah, smaller places.
Guys,
interestingly, though, yesterday I did not go to karaoke. I was like, you know what? Between the rain and coronavirus, I think I'm good.
Lifestyle changes. Like, we're just making small changes in our day to day. Just to, on my way home, I was like, should I pick up pizza? It's Pizza Friday at my house, right? Should I pick up pizza? And I was like, I should probably get it now. Usually we wait till later in the afternoon, but I don't even know what's going to happen. Everything's changing on an hour by hour basis. I don't know what's going to be open in an hour.
You're off for the next 2 weeks, aren't you?
Dude, I'm off for the next 3 weeks. So they officially shut down the school. Yeah, so they officially shut down the school district today. Technically, we're still on call if things change. I don't know what the deal is going to be, but they closed the schools all the next week, all the way through. The last one I read was through April 6th. So, and that's assuming things are better by then, because we never know. Like, it could be at a different point, and it could be longer.
Well, guys, look at how quickly things shifted in the past 24 hours.
Yeah.
I think I just don't know what panic does except for create more fear. I don't see how that's productive.
It doesn't help. It does not help the situation, and that's why to me it's all a matter of your own mindset. What do you want to accomplish in this thing? You want to be the one that fuels people buying 6 cases of toilet paper, or do you want to be the one that helps people? You bought 6. Let's go take 2 out to people who need it, right? Let's figure out what to do with this type of situation. But and even then, in that sense, I mean, there's a lot of people who do have legitimate fears. I had a student literally come up to me and she's like, "Oh my God, the place where I work at is closing for 2 weeks." And I was like, "Yeah, most places are gonna do that." She's like, "How am I gonna pay my rent?" Like, those are legitimate questions. And she's 17 years old, but in her household, she's one of the contributing factors to pay rent, right? And so now you got to figure something out just to put a roof over your head.
So here's a perfect opportunity. What you just said, that's a huge problem. So I think my responsibility as someone that's in real estate and lending, I got to study. I got to educate myself on what are potential solutions out there. Kelly and I were talking about, some people might need mortgage forgiveness. So how do we educate them on how you talk to your lender and say, hey, look, I'm a small business owner. My business is dead. There's no business. I can't pay my employees. So I agree with you. Like, let's go out there. This is the problem. I think we get caught up too much in problems and not coming up with solutions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, because the problem can drown out any other optimistic point of view, right? It's like,
The media is great at that, by the way.
Oh, 100%. That's why I don't watch the news, bro. I do not watch the news. I get
thank God we're not attached to TVs anymore.
Oh my gosh.
That's streaming, so we can avoid it, like not even intentionally.
Yeah, no, I mean, I had a YouTube alert that the president was giving an address because of the basically going into the whatever state of emergency, right? And so I was watching it on YouTube, and then I get home, I'm like, you know what, I'm put on TV. I was like, which is the news channel? I couldn't remember the number for the news channel, but I watched a little bit of that, and then I turned it off because right away, this is one of those things again with the reason why I don't watch the news is because it's nothing but bickering and arguing. Right after the president gives the information, blah blah blah, they go into, and this is what the Democrats think, and this is what the Republicans think. And I'm like, bro, this is not the point, right? We're talking about people saving lives, not about, campaigns. And I understand it's a campaign season. I get it.
I care about my community and the people in my circle. I don't talk about nonsense. Like,
exactly.
Fix aside, and let's just focus on helping people keep a positive attitude and a positive outlook. I just don't want to put that kind of energy out there. I really don't.
No, I 100% agree. And that's one of the main reasons why I don't watch that sort of stuff. I just you become what you think about. And if you put that into your space, if you're putting that out there, then what are you going to be talking about? I get on this microphone every single day and talk, and and the reason why you hear me talk about what I talk about is because that's what I'm surrounding myself with. I'm surrounding myself with that optimism. I'm surrounding myself with that, I can do it mentality, and that the winner circle and the 5 a.m. club and our Justice League. Like, I'm surrounding myself with that sort of environment so that when I get on the microphone here with you guys, with our listeners, that's what comes out. It's the positivity, the positive outlook that I want in life, not that negative stuff. It's easy to spend your life in a car crash. Like, honestly, like you can dwell in that. And that's part of what fascinates me about this whole coronavirus thing, right? Part of it is I get to watch people panic. And there's some fascinating thing to me about watching people freak out. My wife showed me just before I hopped on, the Chula Vista Costco earlier this morning had a line wrapped around the building for the same thing, the water and the toilet paper.
Did you see my Instagram? Dude, that's the first time I've never seen, like, I was, so prior to doing the lending stuff, I worked with Costco for like 11 years. Not even during the holidays have I ever seen the line wrap around like the whole.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Nuts. Everybody with a cart. Like, in that, to me, and again, this is that early onset of pandemonium of this is your emotions getting the best of you, right? And I understand we want to be prepared and all that stuff, but holy moly, dude, like and the thing is, it's fascinating, dude. It trips me out. It really does, to watch people's reactions to things. And I'm very I don't know how to say it. I don't have very many emotional type things. Like, I don't freak out very much. I don't cry very often. That's not my personality. But watching people and their emotions, I am 100% a people watcher. James, right?
Yeah, you're right. You have no feelings.
Thank you. Yes, you're an asshole.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
You guys were about to lose me. The battery almost died.
Oh, man.
Oh, good catch.
What were you going to say, James?
No, nothing. I'm more emotional, but even I'm over here watching people like, damn, dude, calm down. You guys are telling me about lines around the block at Costco? That's insane.
It's gnarly, man. It's gnarly. But all right, so real quick, Ham, have you what kind of concerns have you heard from our agents, or what kinds of questions are you hearing in the insurance side as far as what's going on with the whole with everything?
Yeah, on the insurance side of things, it's really interesting. There are questions running around what kind of coverage is available. The fact is that there isn't coverage for viruses like this. So what sucks is places that are shutting down, businesses that are closing down, they're losing a ton of income. They're losing payroll, right? People are losing not necessarily their jobs, but not everybody gets a paid vacation, right? My wife, you, Nan, and your wife, like all part of the school district, they tell you guys don't come in for 2 weeks. Luckily, we get paid, right? But any other businesses, small businesses out there, you're either braving the elements and going out there, or if you tell your people don't come in, what happens to that income? What's going to start happening, if people cannot conduct business as they normally otherwise would? And so that's what people are asking about. That's what our agents are asking about, is what's out there. And the truth is, there isn't anything that I've seen. Nobody's out there saying, hey, we've got coverage if you are losing money because of the coronavirus, because you have to shut down. There's not coverage for that right now.
Oli, you were around in 2008. The recession hit you, whether you were on the sales side or as an employee side. Is this the beginning of the downward cycle?
I mean, it was inevitable. Look at how well we've done. And I think a lot of, so as a whole, the US is 68% equity rich in their home. So I think if people are educated about how they can leverage that to kind of close the gap, because the rates will come back. It will. Like, this is just an anomaly what happened this week. A forecast, I mean, it's all forecast. Anyone that says they know what's going to happen in 4 weeks and in 8 weeks is just not giving you the truth. So we just keep reading, keep educating ourselves. So that way, as people continue to verbalize what challenges they're running into, we can come up with viable solutions. Because I think that's really, we owe it to our community to do that. What else do you do? Because you can't, I mean, how many people live paycheck to paycheck?
I don't know.
It's a pretty huge majority.
Large.
Yeah. So I think what James is talking about, there's a lot of fear out there. I mean, if you can't cover your payroll, nobody's going to work. They're going to be worried about paying their rent, their mortgage. So I think that's the reason why we're like, hey, what content that can we put out there that's going to educate people? So instead of a fear mentality, they have a solution mentality.
Yeah, 100%. And I've already started. I received an email from my mortgage company, and they're basically saying, look, if you're going to have a hard time paying, here's this link, start letting, letting us
give
know
a plug
now.
to your mortgage company for being proactive in doing that.
Yeah. Cause that's huge for a lot of people. I mean, look, markets are very emotionally driven, just like people are. And so as soon as we start seeing, all these refis, as soon as we start seeing all this cash coming out, the downside to that is always your mortgage payment goes up. You've taken cash out. So you have to make that mortgage payment, right? And then most people don't have the budgeting skills to use that money other than to survive and to, buy a new car or whatever it is that they're going to do. And you're going to start seeing these things go into default. It's just part of that cyclical cycle. And as long as this thing lasts, and people can't go to work or businesses don't survive and all of a sudden you don't have a job, this is one of those signs where, this is the beginning of, and luckily and unluckily, you can clearly see the signs of what's going to happen. The market did come back up today because they did announce that $50 billion going into the economy as far as, infrastructure for this relief fund. So you see a little bit of an uptick there. However, I mean, we still have people that are not going to go to work for the next few weeks. And that's assuming that we get this thing under control as quickly as we can. If we end up like Italy and have to lock down for a longer period of time, or like China where they're locked down for a longer period of time, or worse, China locks down for a longer period of time, then we're going to have supply and demand issues, and that's a whole other ballgame.
It is. And I think from a preparation standpoint, instead of just not talking about the unknown and talking about worst case scenario, okay, worst case scenario happens, what do we do? Mm-hmm. I think we got to keep a calm, cool-headed, mentality about ourselves, and just continue to go out there and educate ourselves on what potential solutions there are. I just think if we spend too much time on what all the problems are, we're not going to move forward. And this isn't the first time that an event has happened. I mean, all the sport event getting canceled, that's a shocker. In my 43 years, I've never seen that. So I'm just glad. I'm looking at the positive. Hey, look, we're taking measures to slow down the potential of this becoming a bigger problem by, closing down schools and shutting down, anything above 500 people is what I read. Any event above 500 people, shut it down. We're just taking our stuff virtual. So instead of just panicking and saying, hey, everything is going to shut down, everything is going to stop, we're just readjusting the communication platforms that we're going to use.
Absolutely. So this is the time to start using your social media as a tool rather than as a toy, right? So we're shifting it from play to work. I mean, I was talking about doing different types of podcast episodes. So I know my mom's going to come visit.
Sweet.
I think she is. We might be closing Casa de Cias here. I have no idea. Depends on how the wife feels. Right. I have to report to the boss, but
buddy, it's shut down.
Right. But it would be cool to have like my mom, on video showing me how to make tortillas and I can share that with people. Like, this is what you have at home. Right. Or, this is how you get your beans ready and maybe add a little bit of flavor. This is how when you're limited to this in your cupboard, this is what you can do with it type stuff. Because all this different information that you can provide is valuable to somebody else. Right. There are certain strategies. I mean, the way you might doctor up a top ramen soup, for example, right? Shout out to Danny, right? The way you might make something that is really
look at James. He's all excited.
Yeah, to gourmet, right? These are different things that.
Shout out to our little bro.
Yeah, shout out to little bro. So, I mean, these are different things that we take for granted as something we do for fun or something that's like my wife. I always really liked when she does, or when her side of the family would make what we call weenie soup, right? It's tomato soup with hot dogs and grilled cheese, right? And she would always say she never liked it because growing up, that's how she knew it was the end of the month because that's the stuff that they were eating, right? But all those things now, all of a sudden, when you're in a situation where you might be in lockdown, these home remedies, these things that you take for granted that are just part of your soul cooking or whatever, those are things that you can share with people. And this is where you start creating valuable content based on what you're doing to document yourself, to kind of, put this thing in motion where you're putting positivity out there. You're showing people how you're getting through this. And maybe it's something that somebody needs to hear. Maybe it's somehow that somebody connects with you through that experience. And now's the time to do it. Like, if you've ever worried about, how you're going to communicate with people or what am I going to say? Honestly, there's so much stuff out there now. Like, just be you, share what you're doing and what you know, and you're going to see it's going to grow, man. It's going to be a positive thing. You're going to make your day move by faster. You're going to provide value, and people are going to respect that and remember you after this.
And you just pretty much summed up exactly what I see our circle doing. I mean, it is phenomenal to me when you put positive things out there, the people that come into your life. Mm-hmm. So say that you're the combination of the 5 people that you hang out with the most. I mean, there's no more accurate statement. And I think, instead of this having this defeatist mentality, hey, look, you can look at the silver lining or you can look at the defeatist mentality. Which one's going to help you out in the long run?
Absolutely. Hey, man, thanks for hopping on the show with me. I didn't know if anybody's going to do it. Again, this is one of those last minute things. I'm just like putting it out there, see what happens. So thanks for hopping on with me.
That was fun, guys.
All right. That's all we got for you guys today. Stay safe. Have a good weekend. You might see more of me because you know what? I got nothing else to do, ladies and gents. So Business Bros might be hopping on.
Hey, Hernan, we're going to get our kids on here.
Yeah, I know. We're going to have a Q&A session one day. Yeah. Why not?
Hey, if you get mom on there doing the tortillas, you're gonna make her a YouTube celebrity like the abuelita out there in Mexico. You think that?
Bro, no, I haven't seen that one, but maybe we'll see what happens there.
She's gonna go viral.
Yeah, we're gonna have to studio that.
She's gonna have more followers than you guys.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Hey, dude, we're gonna have to sling studio that one, Ham. So cameras and iPads, and here we go, multiple camera angles. We're ready to rock and roll.
We'll do it. We'll do it.
All
All
right,
right,
guys.
guys.
We're gonna go.
right.
We're gonna go get our happy on. So you'll see me on Instagram.
Sweet. Go get your happy on. All right, ladies and gents, that's all we got for you guys today. Peace.
Bye, you guys.
Bye-bye.
And we're out.